Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the secret ingredient that is completely changing the game in artificial intelligence. And that secret? It's all about the data.
So, let's kick things off with a story that tells you everything you need to know. When OpenAI built GPT-3, guess how many people were credited for handling the data? Just 2. Now, fast forward to GPT-4, that team exploded to over 80 people. And that's not even counting the outside help. We're talking a 40-fold increase. Just wow.
So what does that massive jump in people tell us? It signals a huge shift in strategy. For the longest time, the race in AI was all about building bigger models. Now, the game has changed. It's moved from being model-centric to being data-centric.
And what that really means is, for years, everyone was just focused on the model's architecture, making it bigger and more complex. But now, the real cutting edge, the place where you get the biggest bang for your buck, is in the data itself. The top teams have figured out that if you perfect the data, you can make even smaller, more efficient models perform like absolute champions.
Okay, so if better data is the goal, how do you actually get there? Well, there's a new playbook emerging, and honestly, the best way to think about it is like a recipe for an amazing meal.
Right. If building an AI is like being a master chef, then your data is your ingredients. And it doesn't matter if you have the fanciest kitchen on the planet. If you're starting with rotten tomatoes, you're not going to end up with a 5-star dish. It's as simple as that.
And that recipe for a world-class AI really boils down to 3 key things. 3 pillars for your ingredients. You've got to nail the quality, you need broad coverage, or diversity, and you have to use the right quantity. Let's break down each one.
First up, quality. And this isn't just one simple thing. It's a bunch of stuff. Your data has to be relevant to what you're doing, it has to be aligned with your goals, consistent across the board, and formatted perfectly. Plus, it needs to be unique enough so you don't bake in weird biases, and of course, totally compliant with privacy and legal rules. You mess up any one of these and the whole thing can fall apart.
And if you need proof of how powerful quality is, just look at this. A famous research paper showed that a model trained on just 1,000, that's it, 1,000 super high-quality examples could go toe-to-toe with a giant like GPT-4. It's the ultimate evidence that a small amount of amazing data beats a mountain of junk data every single time.
Now this is cool. This slide is a peek behind the curtain at our second pillar, coverage. This is the actual data recipe Meta used for Llama 3. And check this out. For that first round of training, almost half the data is focused on math, reasoning, and code. Why? Because that stuff is like a workout for the model's brain. It builds core logical abilities. Then later, they shift the mix to better match what real people actually ask. It's so smart.
And the research backs this up completely. It's not just about quality or just about diversity. It's about having both. You can see it right here. A model trained on a data set that is both high quality and diverse just blows the others out of the water. It's that combination, that 1-2 punch, that really unlocks top-tier performance.
All right, so pillar number 3 is quantity. And you might be thinking, okay, more is always better, right? Well, it's actually not that simple. The right amount of data really depends on your specific goal, the size of your model, and the training technique you're using.
This chart shows it perfectly. Look, with just 100 examples, the bigger, fancier models have a clear lead. But then check out what happens when you pour on the data. Over 500,000 examples. Suddenly, those smaller models totally catch up. They're playing in the same league. So yeah, a massive amount of data can be a real game changer.
Okay, so we've talked about how to get the most out of real-world data, but the top AI labs have another trick up their sleeve. A kind of magic ingredient they're using to push things even further, especially when good, real data is hard to find.
I mean, think about it. Finding and cleaning real data is tough, it's messy. So this question is driving the whole next wave of innovation. What if you didn't have to find the perfect data? What if you could just create it?
And the answer to that question is synthetic data. This is where you actually use AI models to generate brand new, perfectly clean, high-quality training examples whenever you need them. It's basically like having a magical, infinite pantry of perfect ingredients.
So why are teams so excited about this? Well, it solves a ton of huge problems. You can create data on a massive scale. You can create examples of super rare situations that you'd almost never see in the wild. You get way more consistency than you would with human helpers. And crucially, you can avoid all the privacy headaches that come with sensitive data, like in medicine. It's a huge win.
And this is where things get really wild. This is the actual process Llama 3 uses to make its own coding data. It doesn't just spit out code. No. It generates the problem, then the solution, then it generates the tests to see if the solution works. And if it doesn't, it goes back and fixes the code. It's a completely automated factory for creating perfect, verified training data. Just amazing.
So, whether your ingredients are from the real world or from your synthetic data factory, you're not done yet. You can't just toss it all in the training run. There is one last absolutely essential step, the final polish.
And this quote right here, it just says it all. Even with all these cool advanced techniques, a huge part of data work is still just hard, manual labor. It's intense, it's grueling, and there are absolutely no shortcuts.
So this final polishing stage is non-negotiable. You have to literally look at your data. You have to get rid of duplicates that can mess up your model. You have to filter out all the low-quality junk. And then you have to format everything into the exact precise template that the model needs. This is the stuff that turns a pile of raw data into a truly powerful asset.
So at the end of the day, what's the big takeaway? It's this. Building the next generation of AI isn't just about giving it a bigger brain. The real secret, the true competitive edge, is giving it a better diet. The quality of what it consumes is what determines how smart it becomes.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and kind of scary question for the future. As more and more training data is generated by other AIs, what happens? Is the AI learning about the real world, or is it just learning the reflection of other AIs? There's a real danger of something called model collapse, where the AI world becomes this weird echo chamber, forgetting the diversity of reality and just amplifying its own quirks. And figuring that out, well, that's the next big challenge for everyone in this field.